Shout out to my people. Shout out to my people. Sending love, positivity, and good vibes to my people, man. I hope you guys are doing good today. I'm doing great. Today, I just wanted to give you a good story time. I always tell you guys this channel is just more unorthodox. I'm giving you guys, I'm just giving you guys game. I'm giving you guys advice, and we growing together, becoming the best versions of ourselves. And whether it's a quote, whether it's um, some game, some information we can learn from, or whether it's a story that we can reflect from. So, I broke my ankle. I've been in the house for the past month. On top of that, this last week, everybody in the house has been sick. I was the last person to get sick. Um, Luckily, I was taking my turmeric and my ginger and cough drops beforehand because, the people in my household were already getting sick. So I prepped. So that's a gem right there. If you guys ever feel like you're going to get sick, or you're around people that are getting sick, make sure that you guys have immune boosters and stuff like that, because that goes a long way. Everybody in my house has been sick for at least a week. I started to take the immune boosters, and before I really got sick, and I only really stayed sick for, I would say, like a whole day. Not even a whole day. I'll say about like 12 hours. I got the cold, hot chills, couldn't really, tossing and turning. And then, it went away. So that is the best thing from prevention is preparation. Um, so yeah, take care of yourselves. It's that season where you guys can get sick easy. It's, you know, raining, wet, sleet, um, cold, windy. So make sure you guys put on a jacket, put on a hat, take care of y'all. So back to the story at hand. I've been in the house basically for a while, and when you're in the house, it almost gets like unbearable to stay in the house. I'm a person that's always on the go and stuff like that, and I'm starting to see it's a balance. It's good to be in the house, but it's also good to get out the house, network, just breathe fresh air, reboot, whatever. So, yesterday, Valentine's Day, long story short, hey, love yourself first. Valentine's Day for me wasn't what, I expected, but at the end of the day, I'm a man, and I'm not really moved off of holidays like I used to be. Um, really grew out of that phase of, being moved by a day. I'm focused on the longevity and the long haul of my life. So yesterday, Valentine's Day, make sure I did something a little bit for my girls. But today, Saturday, we was in the house all day. Friday, I'm like, normally we go to Scene 75, we get to the games, have a little fun, but with my broken leg, it's hard to move around, and I just don't even like to put my girls in jeopardy like that. I don't know what happened. You can bump into people, something could happen, something, and I'm not even equipped to put pressure on my foot. I'm not trying to ride around with with the thing. So, best thing to do is stay out the way, and be smart. So, didn't go to Scene 75 this week. So I told him, we gonna go just get something to eat. Muumu's eating more. Um, I'm trying to get her to eat different foods. She normally sticks to pizza, chips, bananas, strawberries, yogurt, cereal. She likes what she likes, and she doesn't like to try new things. She recently just got liking spaghetti. I like how she eats spaghetti because she doesn't know how to, really use her utensils, and she basically like pick up the fork, and she's like sitting here, and it's almost like cringy mixed with like, cause I'm super OCD, I'm super clean, so just watching my daughter eat spaghetti is like, scratching nails on the chalkboard. But at the same time, you know, I try to ignore it, and I low key, you know, like it, because kids being kids, you know, she has a face full of red sauce on her face. She's like trying to catch the noodles in her mouth, and you know, it's just like, you know, at the end of the day, we can clean each other. I can clean her up, and you know, as long as she's eating, got her belly full, you know, the mission's complete. So we go to Olive Garden. Laylee requests, "Hey Dad, I want spaghetti." Moo just got, you know, introduced, and so I'm like, you know what, perfect. Let's go to Olive Garden today. Pull up the Olive Garden, sit there for a little minute because Moo was super tired. She needed a nap. So I let her sleep for about 30 minutes. Me and Laylee just chilled in the car till Moo, you know, because I didn't want Moo grumpy. If you guys know, having a grumpy kid in a live setting can be very unsettling. So I didn't want to do that to her. Let her sleep a little bit so she could get, you know, her little rest. So we get into Olive Garden. Getting Olive Garden. I'm limping, you know what I'm saying? It's wet. Trying to make sure, you know, I don't bust my ass again. So we get to the table, and you know, you kind of look up, and the table closest to ours is a baby. It's two toddlers. It's a baby and two toddlers. And then there's two white women sitting there. You know, they got their drinks. And first and foremost, before I start and get into the story, this story isn't to belittle anybody. This story isn't to judge. You know, I'm just using what I observe, and I'm trying to relay the message that I interpret. Because we always can learn from, you know, other people, situations that happen in our lives, you know, to reflect and to see, you know, what's going on, what's really going on out in the world. So I'm sitting down, waiter, you know, comes through. You know how Olive Garden is. You get your salad. We all got spaghetti. I got meatballs. Laylee got mashed potatoes. Moo got French fries. They got their lemonade. So, you know, basically we ordering breadsticks, everything cool. But like I said, the table next to us, it's almost like, you know, their table just slowly but surely was just like, you know, first the kids just not listening. It started off small is what I'm trying to say. Started off with just not listening, doing little things like getting under the table, mom telling them that, you know, uh don't do this, don't do that. And throughout the process of just being there, it just was unbearable and unbelievable, you know, basically to the point where before we left, she literally had to get up, grab a kid, and walk past me and like, your kids uh behave so well, you know, almost in a, I don't think she was being sarcastic, but it was almost in that, you know, tone of kind of even like embarrassment, like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? And I'm saying all this stuff to really break down, you know, men, having a man in a child's life is so very important. What we need more of is men to step up. I know in situations where, you know, you and your baby mama fell out, but at the end of the day, it doesn't, like, we got to start providing for these kids, because how they're raised and, you know, what we put them through in the early stages of their life is going to be a reflection of who they are. I try my best. I'm not perfect. But I always tell my kids, I be damn if I'm going to be spoiling some spoiled ass kids. I'm not spoiling spoiled people. I'm not spoiling bad kids. Y'all, the least y'all could do is be good if I'm going to be going out of my way to spend my money to, especially right now, to crutch my crippled ass into one of these. Y'all going to have to act right. Because I don't have the patience, all that. So my kids really are, especially because they know. They know dad will shut all this shit down. And when we get to the house, I'm turning off everything. Y'all going straight to bed and I don't want to hear nothing. And, tomorrow's a whole new day. We'll start off, eat a good breakfast. And I'm not bringing tomorrow's vibes into today. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all acting up, not listening, then acting a damn fool, what I'm saying is there are consequences and repercussions. There's a cause and effect. And more than anything, it has to be a standard. That's the reason why they saying the YNs and all this. It's because kids are growing up without guidance. Kids are growing up without love. Kids are growing up without men in their lives, and you can see it. Back to the topic at hand, we're sitting here having this meal. Granted, my kids are watching their little shows. I gotta, lately it's a lot. So lately's trying to, and some of the YouTube videos she watching it'd be like them scary, not scary, but she watches other people play video games where they might be running away from something. At one point of the video is because he's running away. He's and it's real. So it's really, really obnoxious and loud. So I'm like, turn that down. But that literally is the worst thing that my kids did the whole entire time we went out. And that's not even nothing you really get. It's just like something that happened. Like, lately, turn it down. Turn it down. You know what I'm saying? Not that serious, but we still outside. We ain't in the crib. So we sitting there and these kids are so bad. And I don't want to judge them. I don't know if, they dad could have died. Dad could have been a deadbeat. They dad could have tried to be in their kid's life. And, I'm giving you guys the scenarios of the times we in. You have these arrogant women as well that, think that they don't need a man, that think that they can be mom and dad. And tonight was a night that reflected that we need each other. Men need women and women need men equally. It's just as important. Yeah, we need that nurturing nature and, that love, but we also need that standard. We also need that tough love. We also need that discipline. These kids were literally, one point, a kid was putting spaghetti in the other kid's hair. Another point, these kids just was climbing over and under the table like it was an obstacle. And I'm just watching it like slowly but surely. Like, it was literally to the point where by the time I got up to leave, everybody, these kids were just screaming at like, when we were literally walking out, Laylee was like, oh, those kids were bad. I didn't even bring it up. My kids brought that stuff up because they could tell, they could see, they could feel the energy. And when we got home, I was like, you know what? I really appreciate you guys for being good kids. That's another thing. Like, if your kids are good, tell them. Appreciate them. Love them. I appreciate y'all. That's the reason why I like taking y'all out, because y'all actually know how to act. Y'all ain't perfect. Y'all still kids. But you listen. You try. You know what the standard is. And a lot of these kids ain't got no standard. A lot of these kids ain't getting popped and disciplined. At one point, one parent took their kid to the bathroom and kind of, shaped them up, but it really didn't do anything. And that's what I'm getting to. It's like that presence of a man in a kid's life, especially, females, girls, it's so important, yo. In our culture and the society and how it's like it's these kids, and I don't even blame the kids, I really blame the parents. Cause it's like they trying to drink and they're on their phone and they texting and they trying to have their little, and that's cool. But you have to prioritize what's most important first. Before we even go outside, my kids know we ain't doing all that shit. We ain't doing, and I'm not about to. I ain't about to yell at you. I ain't about to scream at. I'm. It don't even take all that half the time. Now sometimes if they was acting how them other kids was acting, oh yeah, we doing it all. We going to the bathroom, and I'm shutting shit down, and there's consequences. And I'm holding you accountable, and I'm telling your mom what you been on, so you can't go over to her house and think that you about to. No, we shutting that shit down too. Man, these kids were horrible. Story time like this, horrible. Screaming, throwing spaghetti. At one point, when we was about to get up and leave, these kids were running around the table, jumping into the booths, screaming at the top of their lungs. I'm walking past waiters and hostess and people on other tables, and they eyeballing the moms, rolling their eyes. They're talking between each other, looking at me, shaking their head. And I'm saying this all to say, y'all, like, we need each other when it comes to raising these kids. I don't know, like I said, I'm not trying to judge their situation. I don't know, if they got dead. I don't know their situation. I don't care to know their situation. I wish the best for them in their situation. But what I saw tonight, it was an embarrassment. These kids had no training. These kids were doing whatever they want with no discipline. It was no standard. And it was just so sad to see. Stuff like that. That shit ruins other people's situations and vibes and frequencies. Who wants to spend $50 on a meal, go out, and the whole time you hearing screaming, you hearing, kids running past, and the mom gets up and feeding a bunch of dead promises. Oh, I'm going, you better, I said, yeah, it. Not really knowing how to control the situation. We have to come together. That don't mean we gotta be with each other. We don't gotta get married. Me and my baby mom situation, we basically hate each other. But we like each other because we have a common interest. It's them kids. Not saying, me and my baby mom hate each other. I'm just using that like, we have to stop putting us first. When you put yourself first and your feelings first and disregard other people and disregard your kid, those kids are going to grow up with more problems. 80% of people who go to jail come from single parent households. A lot of them are single mother households because they didn't have the yin and the yang to balance them out. So they only had the yin, didn't have the yang. So now, they just yinging around, just, learning life the hard way. Excuse me, I felt it coming. But yeah, man, it just was so sad to see, yo. I'm not about to keep ranting. I just really wanted to break that situation down because it just showed me, it was I want to say there was probably in their late 20s, maybe early 30s, sitting there. And it's like, they're trying to enjoy the meal. And I'm not trying to attack them and make them seem, lesser or anything, But at the end of the day, we can't take away from the man's role. We can't take, it's important that a child has their mom in their life. But I would argue that it's just as important, if not more. I think it's more important to have their dad in their lives. And you can see how a kid is based off, simply if they got their dad in their life. Dads are setting up structures. Dads are going to hold you accountable. Dad's still going to love you unconditionally, but he going to be the one to teach you right from wrong. So yeah, man, it just was really unsettling, and I think that we can learn from other people, and y'all, and just stories like this, like, we need each other, y'all, especially in our culture. One of the kids, the baby was me, and it's crazy because the baby was by far the best one. Baby just sitting there, just not even knowing what, a little mixed baby. And then her sister, I wanted to say, she probably was like 4 or 5, and she's just acting up. But the other kid, they're feeding off each other. And the moms are just sitting there trying to, play mom and dad, and it's not working. If my kids would have remotely started to act like that, we getting the fuck up out of here. I ain't gonna whoop them and stuff like that. I try to refrain from that unless it really is, and that's the reason why my kids are good, is because they know the standard. Kids have to have a standard, y'all. And how our society is, like, we really need to come together because it's just getting sadder and sadder. It's getting worse and worse. Back in the day, you wouldn't see stuff like that. Because it would get to the point where somebody, like the dad, it was more when you went out, it was more families, it was more, now it's more single moms, and like I don't want to belittle these women because I don't know their situation, and I try not to judge anybody. My channel is love, positivity, and good vibes. But at the end of the day, like I said, like, you have to, why couldn't y'all drop the kids off at their dad's house? Why wasn't a man present? Y'all got they had 3 kids, and they had the both of them. Y'all outnumbered. Where are the men at? A lot of women are getting pregnant by boys, by males who ain't stepping up to the plate. And then y'all gotta, like I said, y'all gotta be mom and dad on the back end And y'all ain't stepping up like y'all need to. This ain't an attack on women. I love women. This is to be truthful with society and where we are standing right now. There's no excuse. When we used to go outside and kids used to act, they get sent to the bathroom with dad, and kids would come back a whole different kid. They come back with tears, crying, but the kid 9 times out of 10, they acted. It was a 180 difference. The kid probably was, by the time they got out that bathroom and sat back down on that table, they was more respectful. They was more quiet. Sometimes that tough love can show you exactly, can give you the standard of exactly what needs to go down. So like I said, I don't want to rant too long on this one. This one just like I had to really give you guys this story, because we as a society, we need to figure these things out. If we gonna be able to lay down with each other, and do these activities with each other and not protect ourselves, basically being reckless with people that aren't accountable, boys who aren't men, all these decisions, these bad decisions that we make, it's a cause and effect. So all the bad decisions you make, from not choosing the right partner, from choosing to be a single mom, not saying that they chose it, but in some situations, some people are like, F it. I don't need them. I'm better all by myself. I'm trying to highlight all the little small scenarios and examples that can get you to where you are. And you can find yourself in Olive Garden chasing a kid multiple times, dragging them out the booth, and they think it's a game. They scream. By the time we opened the door to leave to go out of Olive Garden, I shit you not, these kids were screaming at the top of their lungs like they was on a roller coaster, to the point where when the door shut and we still walking away, we could still hear them through the door. And we can't do anything but just blame ourselves. And I pray that and like I say, I'm not trying to judge them. I pray that their situation gets better. This is a space where it's like, this isn't a judging space. I'm not saying this to belittle anybody, but I'm also here to speak the truth. And the truth is if we're gonna have kids, if we're gonna lay down and think it's cute, and we want light skinned baby, or we want cute babies, and we want to date outside of race, and all these decisions that we make, we have to know that there's going to be a cause and an effect, and you have to set your situations up, your life up, to the point where there's standards, there's discipline, there's accountability. And a lot of these kids are growing up with no father in the households. If they have a man in there, in some situations, these men are getting X'd out. Whether it's prison, jail, whether it's, them not being a man, them being a shell of themselves and not being able to, provide and protect. That's what I'm saying. And it's a real problem how these new kids are getting raised and how, we having kids, raising these kids, when I grew up, it was a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. I don't believe that. I think it just takes love and just a few of the right, you don't need to have all your family members from grandma to your uncle. You don't need to have all that. Now, do I agree? A village, yeah, it's way easier if you have the help to, but more than anything, women need to get with the men, especially that they lay down with, and figure out their situation. If you can sit down and have fun and, have sex and have unprotected sex and let a nigga, you know, skeet in you and you didn't have, these are all the steps that lead to where you get. And we just need to make better decisions. This isn't an attack on women. This isn't to uplift men. This is to say, as a society, as a culture, we need to come together to figure these things out. Because if not, we're going to have a generation of kids, a whole new breed of kids who ain't listening, who don't respect nothing, who, don't know no standards, all that. And it's just so sad to see. Like, as a man, I'm not spending no money on no bad kids that don't know how to act, especially at a restaurant. I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm ruining the moment, the experience for everybody else. And men, that's what men bring to the table besides providing and protecting. They give insight, they give game, they give wisdom, and it's really what I'm trying to say is the roles of a relationship, the roles of, mom and dad, men and women. We need those dynamics. I can't be playing mom all day. Maybe you look at my kids and say, they need more love. They need, we need to balance each other out because it ain't working. And it's only getting worse. And these kids is going to grow up with no guidance and, yeah. So I'm done ranting. I just had to give you that story because, man, it was just a sad sight to see. And it just kept getting worse. The kids just, weren't listening. Just bad, being bad. I won't say the kids were bad, but they were just being so bad because they didn't respect the standard. And I guarantee you, if it was a man in the vicinity, or if these kids just somewhat had a dad in their life, sometimes you can just tell how a kid act. Yeah, you gonna act different with mom. Yeah, we living in a generation now where, we might have split households. But regardless, there has to be that standard. These kids have to know how to act, how to move, how to think. So I love you guys. It's positivity, good vibes. I'm about to go back to bed. I woke up in the middle of the night. I've been sick the past few days. Broke my leg. It's been a little pause in the progression of, I thought I was just about to upload, man, from the broken leg to just getting sick. We rebooting, but we ain't stopping. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. And I just really want you guys to take from, like, we need each other. This is an attack on women. This is not an attack on men. This, if anything, is to say, we got to make better decisions. We have to put ourselves in how we feel and whether we think, that's the one thing I pride me and my baby mom on. We might not be the best parents, but the way we team up to try to raise these kids, I tip my hat, especially in today's day and age. It's treacherous out here. So, yeah, if you able to run around and get females pregnant as a man, take care of your responsibilities. No matter what she did to you, no matter if she cheated, no matter if she embarrassed you, made you look stupid. I've been through all that shit. And I'm taking care of, I'm raising kids that, technically, ain't, but I'm raising them right. And I'm installing and I'm holding them accountable. And they know the standard, and we need each other, yo. It's getting sad, it's getting scary, and and it's just like, is it just going to keep getting worse? Is this shit just going to keep getting worse? Are we just going to use each other just for literally sex and to have kids and disregard each other, never talk to each other again, to be forced to raise a kid in this world for them to not have the love, to not have everything that they really need to succeed? Nobody's perfect. I understand sometimes there's situations where you do need to leave. Sometimes he might not be a man, so you may have to bounce. He might not be a provider and protector, so you may have to bounce. I'm not trying to just uplift all men. I don't know. I don't know their situations. But from what I've seen, they need help. They shouldn't be, if you wanted to go get drinks and go out to eat, y'all should have did that shit at the crib. Because y'all don't even have, y'all don't even have the standard down to even get up out the damn house. First rule that when we get out here, if you want me to spend my hard-earned money on y'all, the least y'all could do is act right. To be appreciative of what we doing. Because I don't have to do this. And my kids know that. And that's just the foundation of the standard. And then but if there's no standard, then we going to be raising a bunch of hellion, a bunch of heathen, a bunch of hellraisers, a bunch of hard-headed. Nah. So, this is just a message, man. If y'all have kids, if y'all looking to have kids, you might have the worst baby. You might have the worst baby mom, baby dad, da 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 da. Figure that situation out for your kids. Because they deserve it. Because really, if you don't, then what's to come on the back end? When you don't fix things and nip shit in the bud, it just festers, it grows, and then it becomes a nuisance. It becomes, cancerous. It becomes toxic, dangerous. We need each other. We need each other. especially for these kids. So if you have kids looking to have kids, really think about who you having a kid with. Stop thinking just because, oh, he black or oh, da, 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 da. And what a lot of y'all women are attracted to is, and that's a different story for a whole different day. But yeah, I'm out, y'all. I'm out. 40 minutes in, I just really wanted to break that down. We need each other. We have to figure this stuff out, regardless. Regardless what she did, man up. Regardless of what he did, figure it out. Cause, whew, when I tell you it is literally 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, man, let me make this video. That's how bad these kids were. So, we need each other. We need each other, especially when it comes to raising these kids, because if not, we're all fucked. The kids, the dads, the men, and the women, the moms, we're all fucked. I'm not just, this isn't just all this, no. We need each other in order to succeed. So I love y'all's positivity, good vibes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, I'm just giving you guys game, whatever it may be. You know, this page is just more so for self-improvement, self-development, and just, you know, giving game. If I can give you guys stories to, you know, help you, if I can give you motivation, inspiration to help, you know, we doing it. So I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you guys follow my other pages in my bio. You know, follow my other platforms. We on all different sites doing different stuff. So, you know, catch up and peace. Y'all be safe. We out.